Some days don't need a spotlight to shine. They don't need a big crowd or fancy plans to matter. Some days just need two people who've walked through fire, who've weathered every kind of storm, and still choose to stand together and say, I do. This is the story of our wedding day. Quiet, gentle, honest, sacred. Not extravagant, but unforgettable. It didn't happen in a cathedral. It happened in the most meaningful way imaginable, simple and deeply personal. In the days leading up to our wedding, I found myself preparing our home in quiet, thoughtful ways, decorating little corners, hanging soft curtains, setting out candles, tending to each detail with care and love, not because we were having a big party, but because my heart needed to prepare. Sometimes, creating a peaceful space outside of you helps create peace within you. That week wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about soaking in the moment and grounding myself in the truth that something beautiful was about to begin. There's something so comforting about being in the kitchen the day before something special. The air feels different, quieter, softer, like even the walls know that something meaningful is coming. And for me, making these mini red velvet cupcakes wasn't just about baking. It was about settling my nerves, grounding my heart, and preparing the space for something sacred. I chose red velvet because it's tender, nostalgic, and just a little bit elegant. Not fussy, not over the top, just soft and sweet with a bit of richness. And mini cupcakes felt right, intimate, simple, joyful. I started with all the usual ingredients: flour, sugar, cocoa, vanilla, buttermilk. But as I mixed the batter, I realized I was doing what I've always done when something matters. I retreat into the kitchen and create something with love. I've always believed that baking is a language all its own. It says, you matter. It says, I was thinking of you. It says, I care enough to make this from scratch. As I scooped the batter into the tiny liners, I thought about how much love has gone into this relationship. How many prayers, how many late night talks, how many moments where we could have given up, but didn't. These cupcakes were more than dessert. They were a quiet offering, a way of saying, thank you, God, for letting me reach this day. When the cupcakes came out of the oven, warm and domed and perfectly soft, I let them cool while I worked on the cream cheese frosting. Sweet, tangy, and whipped, just enough to hold its shape, but melt the moment it touches your tongue. I piped each swirl slowly. There was no need to rush. This wasn't just another batch of cupcakes. This was part of the moment. And as I stepped back and looked at the finished tray, rows of tiny red cupcakes with soft white swirls, I felt a lump in my throat. Because for the first time in a long time, I felt proud. Not just of what I'd made, but of how far I've come. This isn't just baking. This is homemaking at its most meaningful. This is putting love into form, flour, and frosting. Simple and made by hand. Just like the best parts of life. Sometimes the sweetest things in life are also the simplest. This easy chocolate fudge recipe isn't fancy or complicated. Just 3 ingredients, a microwave, and a little bit of love. But to me, it felt like the perfect way to end such a meaningful day. While the cupcakes were baking and the house was buzzing with preparation, I paused to make a small batch of fudge. Not for anyone else, just for us. A quiet little treat that Tim and I could share later when the vows were said, the dresses hung up, and everything slowed back down. The recipe is linked in the description below, but it really couldn't be easier. I just poured 1 can of sweetened condensed milk into a microwave-safe bowl, added in some chocolate chips and a few tablespoons of butter. That's it. A couple of short bursts in the microwave, stirring in between until everything melts together, smooth and glossy. No stovetop, no thermometer, no stress. Just rich, velvety chocolate, warm in the bowl, thick and shiny, ready to be poured. I lined a small dish with parchment paper and let it gently fall into place, smoothing out the top just a bit, and then it went straight into the freezer. Most recipes say overnight in the fridge, but I'll be honest, I didn't want to wait that long. After about 45 minutes, it was perfectly set. I lifted it out, peeled away the parchment, and cut it into tiny little squares, bite-sized, soft but firm, the kind of sweet that melts as soon as it hits your tongue. There's something so special about saving a few small things for just the two of you. After the courthouse ceremony, after the tears and the smiles, and the softest I do, we came home to quiet. And in that stillness, we shared a few of these little fudge squares, just us, savoring the moment and each other. No noise, no cameras, just the soft hum of the fridge and a sweet reminder that life doesn't have to be big or loud to be meaningful. Fudge like this stores beautifully in an airtight container, and every time I sneak a piece, it brings me back to that evening, the first night of being husband and wife, the joy, the gratitude, the peace, and all made sweeter by this tiny, simple homemade treat. Sometimes it's just chocolate chips, butter, and sweetened condensed milk, melted together with care, poured into a pan, and saved for something sacred. And in our case, that sacred moment was ours. And then the wedding cake, finished, standing proud, maybe not perfect to others, but perfect to me, because I made it with my own hands. I stood there, just staring at it for a moment, thinking about all the times I didn't think I'd get to have a moment like this. And now, here I was, marrying the man who has stood by me in the hardest chapters of my life. The man who didn't walk away when things got hard, who didn't flinch at my past, who stayed again and again when I gave him every reason not to.
Drifting through the city lights, your shadow by my side all night. Every step we take, it's clear Destiny has brought us here. Through the storms we laughed and cried.
We didn't get married at home. We got married at the courthouse. And it was more intimate, more romantic, and more personal than I ever imagined it could be. It was just the four of us. My son Cody, his husband Kevin, Tim, and me. Cody walked me down the aisle. Kevin recorded every moment on my phone. And I couldn't stop the tears from coming, not because I was nervous, but because I was overwhelmed by the meaning of it all. I was told I would never be loved the way I needed, that I was too broken, too much, not enough. He saw me, all of me, and still chose me.
I, Timothy, take Dana, be my wife. Share the good times and not retire. Side by side, husband and wife. I'm lucky with my hand in my heart. And that's my faith in love.
I say unto you, share the good times and the hard times. Side by side as husband and wife. I humbly give you the hand in my heart and pledge my life and faith to you.
Drifting through the city lights, your shadow by my side all night. Every step we take, it's clear. Destiny has brought us here. Through the storms we laughed and cried. Hands intertwined, we never hide. No need for words when hearts align. In your eyes I see the sign.
By the powers vested in me by the state of Michigan, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss the bride. And present this